What's going on, everyone? So welcome to my latest video. This is my predictions for the 2025 Oscar Best Picture race. So I'm filming this video on January 4th of 2025. The Oscars will be announced in regards to the nominations on January 17th of 2025. So I'm filming this a little bit early, but I'm feeling pretty confident with a lot of these picks. There are a couple where it's like a little bit up in the air, but that's because there are a couple that are on the outliers where it's like a genuine possibility of them being nominated, and I'll get into that after I announce the 10 films that I believe will be nominated for Best Picture. But it goes without saying, this is not me saying that these are the 10 best films of 2024. That's a video that I will be doing later on in a couple weeks, my personal top 10 films of 2024. This is the 10 films that I believe the Academy Awards will announce as the 10 Best Picture nominees. So, again, I want to emphasize that because I don't want people to say some of these are in my personal top 10. They are not. And we'll get into that in a moment. But I'll be announcing those 10 films that I believe the Academy will nominate for Best Picture, and then a couple possibilities, 3 to be exact. So enough exposition, guys. Let's get started. So kicking things off in alphabetical order, we have A Complete Unknown. This is a film that Searchlight Pictures is producing, and it has been doing really well critically. It's been doing really well with audiences, and it is a film that's doing quite well at the box office. So it's also a biopic, specifically of a musician. So those are 5 reasons alone where I'm like, yeah, it's getting nominated. Do I want it to be nominated? No. But again, this is an objective list. Number 2, we have Anora. This is a film from Sean Baker, and I'm a fan of Sean Baker. I really liked The Florida Project. I own Red Rocket. I think Red Rocket is excellent. Not gonna lie, I wish Red Rocket was nominated in 2021, but goes without saying, it's here or there. Anyways, Anora. Yeah, this is one of those films where it is a shoo-in for getting nominated for Best Picture. It is doing really well critically, doing really well audience-wise, and it did pretty well at the box office. So I think it's going to get a shoo-in. Will it win? I don't know. That's another discussion for another time, but it's definitely getting nominated. Next up, my number 3, we have The Brutalist. This is a film that I've been eagerly anticipating for a couple months. It seems like a film that I'll really like, but here's the thing. It's a film that not only do I think I'll really like, but critically it's been doing really well. The audiences that have seen have really liked it, and also it's a film that's about the American dream. It's an epic that we don't really get at all. I mean, it's a film that seems like it's in the vein of like Once Upon a Time in America. It's 3 hours, and I think it's 25 minutes, and it also has an intermission, which... when was the last time we got an intermission? It's been a long time. So I'm looking forward to this film, but this is another one of those films where it's like you can bet the house that it's going to get a Best Picture nomination. A24 has really been doing a good job pushing this film, and yeah, that's why I think it's going to get nominated for Best Picture. Next up, we have Conclave. This is another one where you can bet the house that it's going to get a Best Picture nomination. Critically, it's been doing well. Audiences have really been eating it up, although from what I understand, the ending has been divisive for some audience members. Surprise, surprise. And then also box office wise, it's done pretty well. And since it's now on Peacock, it's been getting even more views in regards to people finding this film. So I think it's going to be a shoo-in and well-deserved too. Big fan of Conclave. Next up, my number 5, we have Dune Part 2. Yes, the first Dune got nominated for Best Picture, so the second one I think will as well, especially because many people that didn't like the first Dune liked Dune Part 2. So that alone just showcases how there is a lot of love for Dune Part 2. So I think it will get nominated for Best Picture. And, deservingly so. Next up, my number 6, we have Emilia Perez. This is a very divisive film, like quite divisive. There are some people that absolutely love this film and some people that hate this film. I liked this film. Sue me. I like this film. But it's one of those films where it has really strong acting. It has a lot of strong technical achievements going on. I mean, like the cinematography looks good. Love the sound mixing. There's just a lot to appreciate about it. So I think that the fact that it's going to have a lot of support with the below-the-line type categories, as well as stuff like writing, stuff like the acting, and then also, of course, directing and picture, it's getting a nomination, for sure. But again, when it gets announced, there's going to be a lot of backlash. But again, I'm sticking with my guns. It's getting a nomination. Next up, my number 7, we have Nickel Boys. So I have heard a lot of good things about this film, in particular how the first-person point of view shots are something that really puts you into the viewpoint of the lead character. So that's something that excites me, and I know that that aspect is something that might not necessarily work for everyone, but it's a film that seems to be getting a lot of support in regards to the writing as well as the acting, and even possibly the director getting a nomination. So that alone, like that's pretty much 3 nominations right there, so that's all you really need to get a Best Picture nomination. So I would not be surprised if this gets a Best Picture nomination at all, and that's why I have this on this list. Next up, my number 8, this is a choice that I'm not going to lie, I'm not feeling 100% about. It's one of those things where being objective and subjective are kind of clashing right now, but Screw it. My number 8, we have September 5. So I got to see an early screening of this. I saw this at the AMC Screen Unseen, and I absolutely loved this film. As soon as I saw it, I was like, yeah, this is definitely getting a Best Picture nomination. And it did get a Best Drama nomination at the Golden Globes, and I think it was on AFI's top 10. I could be wrong about that, but it has gotten some attention, but Paramount has really been botching this award category. I mean, the fact of the matter is it's not going wide until January 17th, which is the day that the Academy Awards are getting announced. So that should tell you something. Do I think it could get nominated? I do. That's why I have this on this list. But I also wouldn't be surprised if this misses the cut because there just doesn't seem to be a lot of backing up of this film. Someone like myself, yeah, of course, it's a film that I like. It's a film about journalism, and it's also a very tense film. Yeah, it's a shoo-in for me. But again, I would not be surprised if it doesn't get nominated. But you know what? Screw it. This is my list, and I'm predicting that it's going to get nominated. That's why I have it as my number 8. Next up, my number 9. This is another one of those instances similar to September 5 where I am going between being objective and subjective. So this film is The Substance. I absolutely love The Substance. I think it is incredible. If you had asked me a couple months ago, do I think this would get nominated for Best Picture? I would say no. But the fact that it's been getting so many awards in regards to nominations, not only between the acting and the screenplay, but also directing and even picture in a lot of categories, it tells me that this is something that could happen, where yes, a horror film actually gets a Best Picture nomination to join the likes of Get Out and The Silence of the Lambs. And that's why I'm saying that. I know it's a little bit swing for the fences, but you know what? I'm going for it, and I will be delighted if and when it gets nominated for Best Picture. So let's go. So The Substance, that's my number 9. And my number 10 is Wicked. I know there's a lot of love for this film. It was a huge box office success, did well critically. Audiences really dug it. It's a film that I feel mixed about. I didn't love it. I can see why it was loved, but I think this film was pretty middle of the road, to be honest with you. But again, this is a list that's trying to be objective, and I think that if you look at all the awards it's been getting, it's going to get nominated for Best Picture, unfortunately for me. But not unfortunate for a lot of you guys, and I can respect that. So those are the 10 films that I believe will be nominated for Best Picture. Possibilities, though. So I think that something like A Real Pain, that is on the bubble. The reason why I didn't put it in, though, is because I do think that right now, Searchlight Pictures did A Complete Unknown, and they also did A Real Pain. There's a possibility that they could both be nominated, but I do think that the studio is pushing more so for A Complete Unknown. So I think that as of right now, I think A Real Pain will get nominated for, a couple Oscars, and in particular, like Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, and Best Screenplay. But I don't necessarily know if it's going to get Best Picture. We'll see. The other one is All We Know as Light. I have not seen this film, but I do know that since the Academy has gotten bigger, they've gotten a lot of international voters. So I could see this film sneaking into the Best Picture race, possibly even maybe Best Director. I could see that. But I haven't seen the film. I am looking forward to watching it, though. And last but not least, we have Sing Sing. Sing Sing is... I was trying to choose between Sing Sing and September 5. And the reason why I ended up going with September 5 is because it's a Paramount Pictures film. And Paramount Pictures, they were going between September 5 and Gladiator 2. And Gladiator 2 ended up not really being a contender for Best Picture. So that's why I think Paramount Pictures was going for, of course, September 5. But here's the thing. Sing Sing is an A24 film. So I think that, yes, we've seen before studios get 2 films nominated, but I do think that at this point they are really heavily pushing The Brutalist. And I think Sing Sing just had an unfortunate strategy of how it came in theaters. I think it was only in theaters for like a week or 2, and then it left theaters. And then for a lot of people, they just didn't get a chance to see it, myself included. I do know it's getting re-released on January 17th, so maybe the studio does think it's going to get nominated for Best Picture. I know for acting, it will get a couple nominations, including screenplay, but I don't know. Like I said, September 5 and Sing Sing, I was going back and forth between them, and A Complete Unknown and A Real Pain were 2 films I was going back and forth between. So that's my mindset, though. But you saw the 10 films that I believe will be nominated. But again, these 3 films that I just announced, I wouldn't be surprised if they get a Best Picture nomination. So those are my thoughts, guys, on the Best Picture race. Let me know what you think will be nominated in the comment section down below. And as always, don't forget to join me on Patreon down below, as well as follow me on Letterboxd. Don't forget the subscription, notification bell. Catch you guys later.